What do you think?
Bravo! Yeah, we'll be getting a letter from the Egg Council.
You know you've had that happen at home. Here's what you shouldn't be doing. This is the problem right here. I have this nasty habit at home of when I crack eggs to put those things back in there.
Well, why on earth would you do that?
It's neat, and I like it. But sometimes it gets on everything, and there you go.
Like my nerves.
So anyway.
Oh, God, this is boring.
I'm having a good time. Okay, mix, mix, mix. Oh, yes, this stuff is, ooh, it is so hot.
How hot is it?
Well, it's starting to get, to thicken up a little bit. Now, over here, we need to beat those eggs into submission. Real good, because we're going to be adding this in a little bit. And this is the fluffy part. This will go fluff it up real good. So make sure you beat those eggs real good. Teaspoon and a half of salt. And what did you bring me that cup for? Oh, for a real cup of milk. Okay. She's watching after me. She really is trying to keep me in good stead here. All right, there we go. Another cup is added at this point of milk. And make sure you mix that all pretty thoroughly. And it goes, not nice? At this point, while this stuff is thickening, and it finally is, I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of butter or margarine in here. Did I already put some in? Yep. Never outgrow your need for it. It's good stuff. It needs it. Doris said it needs it, even though it's already in there, it needs it. Now, while you're doing today, take about, it calls for 2 quart, which this is a little bit smaller than, but pretend like it is. This one is, really. It looks different than the other one. And spray it a little bit or grease it. And in a few minutes, we'll add all this together, we'll put it in here, and we'll go from there. Let's give our recipes.
Oh, I'm still cutting. Would you leave me alone?
Well, yeah, we need to do something, though, because it's just miserable.
Well, I'm about to go to the old microwave. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, okay.
I'm going to the microwave.
My recipe. Never fail spoon bread. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I got to go to the microwave to melt a half a cup of butter. That'll take 3 seconds. Well, that was fun, wasn't it, ladies?
Never fail spoon bread. A cup of cornmeal, preferably white, water ground. 2 tablespoons of butter, margarine, and sharp cheese. And I'll tell you why she says sharp cheese in a couple of minutes. Although Doris and I think that we don't agree with her. 4 cups of milk divided, 4 eggs well beaten, 1½ teaspoons of salt. No baking powder soda is needed whatsoever in this. Now look at this. This has turned into a nice thick mush. And it just needs a couple of more minutes, and be very careful or it will burn on the bottom. In fact, I'm going to cut that off right now and let it thicken just another couple of seconds. This recipe says that you can add a half a cup of sharp cheese in place of butter or salt to make an impressive cheese souffle. Another hint, this person's just full of hints. Recipe can be cut into 3/4 or 1/2. Another hint, you can add small amounts of cooked ham, sausage, etc. Of course, delicious. Okay, see how thick this is now? It's real nice and thick. That's just the right consistency. And what you're going to do at this point is add in all of that into that mixture. Mixed up real good.
Nummy, nummy.
Looking pretty, isn't it? And, sorry, and we have our greased pan. Put that in there and bake it for 45 minutes on a hot heat. 400 degrees, as a matter of fact, for 45 minutes. And there you go. Doug, you want to give your recipe or talk to us about what you're doing or something?
You're going to take your bacon, crumble it up, put it in the biscuits. Now you're going to take your veggies. Throw those babies right in there. This is so good and so good for you. Well, maybe it's not that good for you, but we don't care. Oh, thank you. Now you take your half a cup of butter, put that in as well. And just so you don't have enough cholesterol, we throw in a half a cup of sharp cheddar cheese.
Ooh, look at that.
Isn't that pretty? And now you're going to toss all this together.
I'm getting hungry just looking at it.
Now here I go. I'm going to be tossing my brains out over here. And here we go. Make sure everything gets well coated.
Oh, oh, ooh, baby.
Is it working?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Now you're going to put this in a 10-inch tube pan
Get it out, of course, but
and cook it in the oven, 350 for a half an hour, and it's best served warm. We don't have a tube pan down here at Cookin Cheap, so we're kind of sad about that. So you're
Look
just
at
going to
this.
have to trust me on
real
this one.
quick, and then you got to read your recipe. Look at this.
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Absolutely stunning.
Let me read mine. Pull apart bacon bread, 1 package, 16 ounces smoked bacon, 1 tablespoon bacon grease from the fried bacon, just reserve that. A 1/4 cup, 3/4 a cup of green pepper chopped, 1 3/4 cups of onions chopped, 3 tins of buttermilk biscuits, 1/2 cup of butter melted, and 1/2 cup shredded cheddar cheese. Bake that, bring it out. We don't have a tube pan, but I'll show you what it looks like anyway.
A toucan, isn't that one of those birds?
Yep.
Hi, Larry.
Oops. Oh my gosh, it
Old Doris
disappeared.
and I, we're just kind of waiting for Doug to get finished up. We think he'll never get that thing out of there. Oh,
Pretty?
it is pretty. Ooh, and it smells good too. Look at that. Don't we have 2 beautiful dishes here? I wonder if this is done. Doris, tell me. You did this recipe yourself yesterday. Look at that.
Yes.
It certainly is. And you know, of course, what you have to do, you have to put a big old dollop of butter on it.
Oh, cholesterol.
Once you get, look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Story of
It's
my life.
perfectly done. It really is perfectly done. I'm real pleased with this recipe. Doris is here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to show you something. Now, hang on a second. Don't just take your time. You notice she's got all of these lighthouses. And you know, down in North Carolina not so long ago, they moved one, and this is kind of what it looked like when it got moved. It just got moved real slow. It wasn't very funny.
Sure
but
wasn't.
It was real.
Yeah, but then they put soap on the skids and it went flying.
And you missed it.
And we missed it.
Now, what is this? You baked
Because
this
you
in a
got
can.
Right, I had to make a corn, not cornbread, I'm thinking of yours, a banana bread in a crock pot. You're supposed to put it in a 2-pound tin, and I guess they come in 2-pound tins, but this is the one that I happened to find, and this is a
Just made an old
two and a
coffee
half, so I made it a
can.
little bit bigger. And what you do is you mix together 1/2 cup of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 4 small, very ripe bananas,
And a
3 tablespoons of milk or water, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1/2 cup of chopped nuts, optional. And you mix it all together and put it in this well-greased thing. And you put it in your crock pot, and it'll come out. And
We were all so hoping.
really, oh no, I tested it at home. I don't know how you're supposed to cut this thing.
Nope, excuse me.
but-
Good neck
Go
shot.
right ahead.
Oh, it just
I'm trying to get a little butter on my bread before it gets cold.
And it didn't say how you're supposed to cut this thing, but it turned out pretty good.
Well, how do you cut it?
I'm going to do that.
I don't think she can cut it.
It looks pretty good. Oops.
Well, it does. So how long did it take you to make it, Doris?
Two
Did
and
you
a
do
half,
5 or 6?
2.5 hours in a crock pot, and you're supposed to put the lid on real tight. And my crock pot was a little lower than, it wasn't big enough for this tin. So I had to put foil all around the top of it, and it worked that way. So if your crock pots aren't big enough and the top doesn't fit tight, just put foil around on the outside and it'll help.
Sounds great, and it looks pretty, too. Thanks an awful lot. We appreciate you coming by. Helping us out. Well, are we ready to eat this? Has everybody given their recipes? I guess so. I don't know. It's just, have no idea. I tell you what, I couldn't be prouder of this bread if I had made it myself. Oh, I guess I did. How's come we have 1 plate?
Well, I had to put that on the plate.
Oh,
And so I just went and grabbed one.
well, I'm gonna.
I'll try yours really fast.
It looks wonderful. Except you're supposed to just be able to pick it off with your fingers,
But
right?
that might be a tad hot, though.
It is. I like that. It's
Yum.
good. What's this stuff like?
This is real good. I'm not a connoisseur of spoon bread, but I could
A lot of
become
people
one.
aren't. People kind
Well, I
of
just
are a
don't
little.
know anything much about it.
Well, that's because you get so much bad spoon bread.
Well,
if
that's
you can
true.
find it at all, it's dry and falling apart.
Really, it is like that's very custardy and it's lovely.
Mm-hmm. It has a little too much butter in it, I think. Just joking. It's real good.
Oh, this isn't
You know,
bad.
one of the local hotels here, one of our famous old historic hotels, is still famous to this day for its spoon bread. But it has to be served very quickly and very fresh, and the problem with serving spoon bread in restaurants is it doesn't hold well. And that's why people get so much dry, horrible spoon bread.
Did you get one of Doris's?
But this is nice, really. No, I want to try some of Doris's cake.
I'm taking the tablecloth with me.
Oh, don't you just love this little thing over here?
Here you go.
Oh, thank you. I'm digging the spoon bread. It might cause me to want to make it at home once in a while. It's so good.
Yum. Oh, that's like the best banana bread I've ever had.
It has a slight coffee flavor to it.
You are so
No, she washed the can. I tell you what, that's real good, Doris.
I think any of these would be really
That
good.
really is. All those marvelous walnuts in there.
Yum.
Well, it's hard to believe that all of these are in the bread family, but they are.
Are they?
You remember the bread family?
I do.
Well, anyway. Well,
Things.
hey, listen, if you have any recipes you'd like to share with us, just send them to us.
We hope so.
We can't promise you anything, of course, but we'll try. We'll take a look at them. We always do. That's where we get all the recipes, you know.
I know.
From the folks at home.
And they're the best.
And they're getting better all the time. I think that people are doing a better job.
And so are we.
Except those couple that still haven't learned to cook yet. And that's why you're watching our show. Well, I sort of like this. And this bread is getting to the point now where you can kind of reach in there and not kill
Get it
yourself.
without, singeing
I
off.
think it would be rude to take this right out of the oven and set it out and tell people to use their bare fingers.
Well, it depends on who's over.
Well, no, that is true. And if you want to, use your face.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. We got to go.
Let me help you.
It's been good. Bye.
Bye-bye.